Big shift part 2. Why part 2? There's so much more I need to tell you about this shift because there's amazing things happening within it that we must now pay attention to. Usually a shift is, oh, it just happens and this is what's going on out there. But we have to act on this one. This is going to happen more and more and more. You're going to love this because as I shared in the part 1, there are opportunities in these shifts that are happening that are blatant. But you have to be open to that. I want to tell you what those opportunities are and why we're accelerating. I didn't actually get to cover that in the last video. I want to do that in this one. This is great stuff, all right? I want you to get excited and pull out of the, we're going to, what, hell in a handbasket. We're not. Let's talk about this big shift, part 2. Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears and live an amazing life. Yes, I worked out again and I'm sweating. I get all these great ideas when I'm on my rower and walking, and so I come back and I'm like, I gotta get on the camera and tell you guys the amazing news. I don't want to forget this stuff. These are downloads. You get these too. So it's going to be everyday occurrences for us. We're going to realize downloads aren't something that special people get or awakened people get. We're getting them all the time. You're getting them right now. And I want to share with you what's happening within this shift that is a constant opportunity for you to keep going up into that new space, that great awakening, the golden era that we're all going toward by choice only. Again, we have free will. We have a game, a hologram here that we get to play. If you don't put the effort in, or you're not into it, or you want to just stay in, beginner mode, it's a choice and not to be judged. It's okay if you're not ready for it. But I'm going to share with you right now a few things that I think are very exciting. First of all, why are shifts seeming to happen so much more often? First of all, what is it? It's a noticeable shift of what's happening out there with patterns, okay? We talked about this in the last video. Electronic things go wrong all the time. We're getting all kinds of numbers. All of a sudden, everybody's getting those. Things are missing all of a sudden. Time shifts are happening. And there's a consistent pattern in each of these shifts that are noticeable. And it's not just me, because I get to read all your feedback, and it's pretty consistent. This one is, we're feeling that there are opportunities, but they appear that things just aren't in alignment. So you might be feeling like things are going wrong, or you're just not getting solutions or answers, and you need to correct things, but you feel stuck. That's the shift right now happening that's actually in your face. Here you go, your opportunity to change this. It's time to let that go. But a lot of people get stuck in that, and because they're not connected to their empowerment, and they believe it's just happening to them and they don't know what to do about it. They think things are going wrong, when actually it's the opposite. Now, what I shared with you is that I went through a series of things, and I go into the quantum field, science and spirituality coming together. It's happening 24/7. Spirituality is just unlimited quantum manifesting and creation all the time. And science is trying to quantify that, and it can't, because it limits itself, right, to the seen world and what it can prove. Well, we're going into the space of spirituality where we don't have to prove it. We know through our results that we can do anything. We can change anything. So why is this speeding up? Why are we feeling shifts, noticeable shifts with patterns? Because we are accelerating our spirituality, and more people are going into the space of unlimited knowledge, thinking, creation, and accepting that and beliefs, which opens the gateway for us to make those changes on our planet, and therefore what we think and believe we create. All right, you guys, I teach this, right? Come on over. I teach unlimited manifesting. We're doing crazy stuff there. All right, but you have to learn, what are those steps? How do I do this, right? And this is what's happening right now, is getting the assistance within community to get those answers. Not trying to do it on your own or just meditating and think you can, accomplish all these things. We are one whole body. All humans are one energy field, and of course beyond. But we function here in this matrix as a chosen energy field within the bigger picture of everything, the universes and beyond, as a unified field that has a goal, an accomplishment that we all agreed to, and that is to raise our frequency and become conscious beings coming here as unconscious beings. So we all agreed to do that. So we are being tested by massively unconscious energy fields, people that came here and chose some really, really dark stuff to experience that, and also test the other ones. So again, I talked about this in a few videos, and that is, if you break your finger, you don't chop it off, you heal it. We are one body. If somebody appears broken or low frequency, you don't eliminate it or cut it off. That's a part of our body, and without it, we don't function as a whole. So we cannot turn our backs anymore. It's proven, and people are doing this right now, that when we send our light and love to the situations, to the battles going on, to the perpetrators of those, we do change it. Please do that every day. Send light and love to all parties involved, especially those in the darkness, so that they can start making different choices. And when they get hit with this positive energy, and everything's energy, and when we start to go into space and realize that, and stop thinking, what can I do as a human being in a material world, you hold amazing, unbelievable power. And when you send that power and that light and love from your heart to those who are stuck in darkness, who many want to make different choices, we're going to send them the light and love to gain the strength, to tap into the strength to make higher decisions. And we're not going to dictate what that is. Each one of them have their own higher decisions to make. So if we send that light and love, as I do every morning, I do it, I send it to you, I send light and love, and all of these amazing opportunities to open up for all people, and that they will choose what is highest and best for them, and that they will find their consciousness here. And I am not going to judge that, that pathway, your adventure. This shift right now is okay, what's going on up there that I have an opportunity to change? And who do I need to connect with or collaborate with in our community as the one whole body to make that change? Because I don't stand alone. Nothing stands alone. So this shift is the oneness of all of us, having it in our face that I can't fix my car without an amazing mechanic, but I have to pick the right mechanic. Now, I want to share something with you, and this is a whole different video. I'm actually going to shoot this on Instagram. And I'm just going to briefly tell you something that's so important. When I had a mechanic in Atlanta tell me that my car was going to, hell in a handbasket any moment now, no matter how well that car was driving, and nothing has ever gone wrong with it, I knew that car was amazing and that engine was perfect. But he planted something, and this is what happens when you watch media and whatever. Somebody said they watch the news for entertainment. I said, that's not entertainment, that's an energy field. So even if you don't believe it, it's still in your energy field. It will perpetrate other thoughts. It will, let's just say, fuel and trigger other things you may not even be aware of. This is where we have to be so on our game right now. So when he told me these horrible things, I wouldn't take this on the freeway, he says. Well, I was going to drive down to Florida. Do you know that whole trip? I have it in my head because he's the mechanic, even though I know he's wrong. What did he see that I don't know? And so I was absolutely, not feeling really good the whole way down about taking this car in the freeway, thinking, thank goodness I have AAA, I imagine like, oh my gosh, am I going to have to get this thing towed somewhere and I'm halfway down there, So it planted these things, unnecessary things in my head that I was potentially planning for based on information that somebody gave me because he's a supposed expert. Is this happening to you? You're going to experts and maybe they're not experts and maybe they're using that to give you some negativity and fear. I find a mechanic here, just puts my oil, does an oil change, says this is an amazing car. It's beautiful. I checked everything. It's running great. See you in 5,000 miles. Now I shifted. I got in that car and all of that went away. Me thinking, oh my gosh, I need to just get to the next place, even though the car's running perfectly. Yes, is this a great analogy for everything in your life? Things are going great, but you're told that, you know, there's going to be shortages and all this stuff, and somebody says you better go stock up on whatever, and it actually creates that. So then all these people who think, well, I have no problem finding things right now, what I need, and by the way, I'm just backing off on a lot of stuff that I didn't need. Saving money and not, you know, having stuff in my house or food that goes to waste. And so you find yourself hearing all this stuff, and maybe you go, well, this is an expert. This is somebody who knows about the food chain, so maybe I better go and stock up and hoard. And so they actually create that. We have to get control of this. This shift right now is you making independent decisions and saying, what in my personal life is showing up that appears to be a little unstable? It's not unstable. It's a shift into something higher. You're shifting, you're changing your life completely. You change your own reality, and it's yours alone, not mine. So my car out there, I feel like, oh my gosh, I have this amazing car that I always knew. How did I allow somebody else to change that energy field of mine? I had to allow it. Now, the other thing too is what's happening in your life that maybe you're saying, it's time for a change. This is not anything bad. All these things are going wrong. I'm feeling bad. Where are those feelings coming from? The energy fields you're entangled with. So this shift right now is I must collaborate and connect with and entangle with those on a higher frequency who are not going into fear, because there is a different reality from the one that tells you that things are going to go wrong. Because we can counterbalance that. We can actually stop that from happening. You have to know what you are. Because if you don't believe that, you're going to constantly be at the mercy of what's happening out there, thinking it's happening to you, and that you have no control, and that this shift is just a shift happening to all of us. No, there's always a choice within the shift. And the shifts are opportunities. They're always opportunities. And they're also part of what we've been putting out. So because we are now accelerating our awakening, our awareness, are letting go of jobs we hate and schedules and what we're told to do, and we're saying, no, not me, then it's accelerating freedom. It's accelerating all the things that we desire, opportunities, and opening up to the fact that I know I'm in that quantum field, and I know I'm creating that. I take responsibility. So if there is a consequence to my past actions, it may be in my face right now, and I get to correct it. It's a good thing, because now it's not going to keep showing up in my face. You're dating another person who doesn't respect you, or hello, you just took another job because you placed money before ethics. What is the cause and effect of that? And so these shifts are allowing you to make different choices. So if you think it's bad and it's still happening to you, it's because you haven't shifted into that other reality where you're not behaving and having the same patterns as you were that created that in the first place. So it is an energy shift. This is quantum physics. This is science. These shifts are happening because our consciousness is pushing that. So we keep going into tipping points of raising the bar, raising the bar. Within it, you get to choose if you raise the bar or if you stay here and feel bad. Second course that I teach, Breakthrough Fear, you are carrying a lot of beliefs and patterns and energy field from your experiences and what you've been told. It's still with you. That never goes away. But you stop acting on it. You stop believing it. And it's not a trigger anymore. So if you do get triggered, you no longer react to it the same way you were. So you shift into being a completely different person. We've had people tell unbelievable stuff. We've had miracles happen. I want you to consider how powerful you are, because you can manifest anything. It's a new era. It's a new opportunity. It's a new way for you to shift into something so beautiful. So when that opportunity comes, don't fight it and battle it as something that shouldn't be. That's struggle. Say, what can I do with this? Because it's my opportunity to go to this level. And you'll never end. It never ends. You are whole and perfect, strong and powerful. You're beautiful. And you hold the power and the light of the universe within. That's what you are, not that body you see in the mirror every day. Until you know darkness, you cannot know light, not truly, because you have nothing to compare it to. We're getting that opportunity to know it in extreme ways, but we can change that too. Blessings to you, my beautiful light being friend. Namaste.